Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to create a backup for Microsoft Exchange database using Ahsay OBM. Ahsay Backup provides complete protection for your Microsoft Exchange server, information store, mailbox databases, and public folder databases using both full database and transaction log backups. Ahsay utilizes Microsoft Volume Shadow Copy Service or VSS to take a snapshot of the Exchange database to ensure complete data consistency. Using Ahsay OBM to back up your Microsoft Exchange database allows you to restore the database to the original storage location and restore to an alternate storage location on the same server. Ahsay takes the stress out of Microsoft Exchange database recovery with our automated recovery process, which restores the .edb database files and transaction log files from the designated storage destination such as Ahsay Drive. Subsequently, these files are applied on the Exchange database, culminating in the successful mounting of the database, making it accessible online at the click of a button. For advanced users, an option exists for manual database recovery, providing complete control over the recovery process through the Restore as Raw Files feature. Let's jump onto my screen and we'll start to create a backup. On your Microsoft Exchange server, launch Ahsay OBM and log in using your credentials. Click on the Backup Sets tile and click on the plus icon to create a new backup set. Enter the name of your backup set, then select MS Exchange Server Backup as the backup set type. Ahsay OBM will automatically detect and select the Exchange server version. Make sure that it is correct. For our example today, we will be performing a standalone MS Exchange database backup, so we'll keep the current settings. Click Next to proceed. Select the backup source. Select the information store, which contains the mailbox database, and depending on the individual MS Exchange server setup, a public folder database may be shown. We'll select Information Store as our backup source. Click Next to proceed. Create an automatic backup schedule. Turn on the setting and click on the plus icon to add a schedule. Input the name of the new backup schedule. There are two backup set types available, database and log file. Create a backup schedule for each type to optimize the efficiency of your MS Exchange database backups and minimize any performance impact on the server. Typically, this entails performing a full database backup once a week, preferably on Fridays or Saturdays, which also minimizes any impact on end users. Given the larger data size involved, this approach allows the sufficient time for Ahsay OBM to complete the full database backup job. Conversely, daily transaction log backups typically handle smaller volumes of data and can be completed more quickly. As a result, these backups can be scheduled during weekdays, specifically from Monday to Friday. When setting a backup schedule, consider the hardware performance of the machine, the network bandwidth, and the retention policy settings. For the type setting, you can either select daily, weekly, monthly, or a custom setting. For the start backup setting, you can choose at if you want the backup schedule to start at a specified time, or every if you want it to start at a specified interval. Using regular backup intervals is crucial for ensuring that changes to the Microsoft Exchange database are always backed up. This backup schedule is particularly well suited for backup of Microsoft Exchange transaction log files, which allows for the most current point-in-time recovery. However, having small backup intervals also means that the backup machine must have the appropriate hardware specifications to achieve optimal performance. As the amount of new data grows, ensure the Ahsay OBM user account has enough storage quota allocation and consider the retention policy settings and retention area storage management. For the stop setting, which is only available if the start backup is set to at, there are two options available. Until full backup completed, where the backup job will only stop running when all the changes to your data are completely backed up, regardless of how long it takes, and after, which stops the backup job after a specific time period even if the backup of all your files or folder is not completed. The best practice is to enable Run Retention Policy after backup, which will delete the files and folders in the retention area that have exceeded the retention period. This is to better manage the backup storage quota. For our example, we will create two backup schedules. One weekly full database backup schedule set every Friday at 8 p.m. and one daily log backup schedule set from Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m. After the backup schedules are added, click Next to proceed. Select Sequential as the backup mode since our example today only has one storage destination. However, if you have more than one storage destination, it is recommended to set the backup mode to concurrent, like if you want to back up your files to the Ahsay drive and a local drive. For our example, we will save our files to the Ahsay drive. Click on the plus icon and select Ahsay drive as the destination storage. Click Next to proceed. Use the default setting for encryption. This is the most secure option as it uses Ahsay's AES 256-bit data encryption, and it will randomly generate a 44 alphanumeric character encryption key to secure your backup. Remember, once you have selected the encryption settings, it cannot be changed afterwards. If you need to change the encryption settings, you would need to create a brand new backup set and back up all your data again. Click Next to proceed. It is very important to keep a copy of your encryption key before clicking Confirm. If you forget or lose your encryption key, you will lose the ability to access and restore your backup data. Once you have secured the encryption key, click Confirm to proceed. Enter the Windows login credentials for user authentication. This screen will only show if a scheduled backup is enabled and set successfully. Click Next to proceed. The backup set has been successfully created. Click on Backup Now to start a backup job, or you can click Close and wait for the scheduled backup to start a backup job. Let's click Close and check the other available settings for our backup set. Click the backup set that we just created. Click on the Show Advanced Settings to view the other available settings. Click on Deduplication. Deduplication is enabled by default, and when it is turned on, it removes redundant data blocks. The default settings are the optimal settings for deduplication, and for database backups, it saves up to 60% or more storage space, saves cost, and reduces network bandwidth usage. Next, select Retention Policy. The retention policy dictates how long it will hold files and folders that were deleted or modified during a backup job before they are removed. They are stored in the retention area, which is a temporary destination to store the files and folders which can still be restored. Increasing their duration increases the likelihood of recovering older versions of deleted or modified files and folders, increasing the storage required, which translates to a higher storage cost. There are two types of retention policy available. Simple, which is a basic policy where the retained files are removed automatically after a specified number of days or backup jobs. And Advanced, which is a more flexible policy which can be used to maximize the scope of your data recovery while minimizing storage usage and cost. You can set it to daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, or a custom setting. Let's go back and choose a simple retention policy. Next, select Others. The temporary directory is set to a local volume by default. The temp folder is the default location where Ahsay OBM temporarily stores backup set index files and temporary restore files. The best practice is to set the temporary directory to another local drive for optimal backup and restore performance. Enable the Remove Temporary Files After Backup to effectively manage the free space on the drive. It should not be located on the same partition as the operating system because if that drive fills up, it could cause the backup machine to crash, preventing your backup from running or completing. It shouldn't also be set to a network drive as it could affect both backup and restore performance. Click Change and select a different location. I will select a different local drive to store the temporary files. Select the preferred compression type. You can choose between no compression, normal compression, fast compress size larger than normal compression, and fast with optimization for local. We'll use the default setting, which is fast with optimization for local, as this is the optimal setting for our backup set type. Last is Recycle Bin. This feature allows the user to set the number of days the block files that were deleted due to retention policy or data integrity check will be held as added protection. Click on Save to save the changes and go back to the main menu of Ahsay OBM. We are going to manually run a backup job. Click on the backup tile, then select the backup set that we just created. Select the type of backup to run, either database or log file. Enable the Run Retention Policy after backup option to permanently delete files and folders in the retention area which have exceeded the retention period to better manage the backup storage quota. Click Backup to run a backup job. The backup has successfully completed. And that's how to back up your databases on Microsoft Exchange using Ahsay OBM. With Ahsay, your data is fully protected, armed with the latest technology like immutable backups, where your backup data will never be encrypted, deleted, or modified for total protection against hackers and ransomware. Strong AES 256-bit data encryption ensures that your data is encrypted during transit and when your data is stored, to prevent anyone from reading your data without your permission. Two-factor authentication, to prevent anyone from accessing your data without your permission. Multi-destination backups, to store your backup data in more than one storage destination and across many geographical regions, for maximum protection against natural disasters, fire, or conflicts. And data deduplication, a feature that removes duplicate copies of data that helps you save up to 90% of your storage space, with significant savings on your data storage costs, as well as much faster backups. That's why you should choose Ahsay. Your data is safe with us.